were lied to about live action Dragon Ball. It's okay because we all were lied to, and this lie has been perpetuated for years now. It has never stopped, it has never slowed down up till now. So who broke the live action anime curse? As a Dragon Ball fan with a heavy heart, I have to say this is absolutely 100% true, and in this video I will tell you exactly how live action One Piece was able to break the anime curse and how Dragon Ball can do the exact same thing relatively easily. But first, do you want live action Dragon Ball? Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, make sure you like the video. You can do that while you're reading this and stay till the end. Once you get to the end, make sure you drop hashtag end of video squad. Dragon Ball has gone through a cycle of death and rebirth, and one of the most famous incidents of death and rebirth is with Dragon Ball Evolution that led to the birth of Dragon Ball Super. Hey, you guys are totally out of line. This is me, live action Goku here, and Dragon Ball Evolution was not as bad as everybody is making it out to be. While it is true that Dragon Ball Evolution has some fans out there, it is more or less universally hated by not only the Dragon Ball community and the anime community at large. But Blackscape, Dragon Ball Evolution laid the groundwork for One Piece's live action. It's basically the exact same thing. We go on a journey and we get new companions along the way to face off against insurmountable odds. That's exactly what the Straw Hat crew is doing in live action One Piece. But here's the thing, live action Goku, this is a story plot from Dragon Ball, which heavily precedes One Piece, and if you really think about it, that early Dragon Ball story and that One Piece early story kind of mirroring itself isn't just coincidence. Oda does explain several times over that Dragon Ball was a huge inspiration for him creating One Piece. Okay, well, I'll concede then. I guess Dragon Ball Evolution does suck. Well, I'm not gonna be out here saying that Dragon Ball Evolution was good by any means, but Dragon Ball Evolution had a huge impact on getting Akira Toriyama to force Toei to create more Dragon Ball in Dragon Ball Super, the Dragon Ball that we know today. Plus, Dragon Ball Evolution stays a benchmark for how not to do a live action Dragon Ball, so basically do the opposite of what Dragon Ball Evolution did and you'll be fine. But check this out, live action Goku. I'm about to feed you and the audience here some information on how live action One Piece succeeded and how Dragon Ball live action can do the exact same thing, because all of you have been lied to. You have been told for years that live action Dragon Ball cannot work, and it just simply can. One Piece live action is a testament to the fact that it can. So the first thing you have to do is respect the source material. This is paramount. What the source material is, you must dive into it, you must understand it, you must love it, and the fact that Oda is so connected to this live action Netflix series, it shows that this is a huge factor in making things successful, in pleasing fans and bringing in newcomers, and that is step number 2. Treat the series with the respect of any other series. If you want anybody else to pick up with it where it is brand new and it is high quality, you respect the series, you give it the money that it needs to flourish. This is the highest budget project on Netflix's roster, and it absolutely shows. The cinematography, the shots, the CGI, everything is just gorgeous in this show. It is phenomenal. They really put a lot of work into this and they made it just extremely grandiose. It has a lot of flair to it, and that is something that it needs because it is just such a high fantasy world. It needs all that love, and again, you don't need to be changing things that don't need to be changed. You need to respect the source material. Lastly, good casting. The cast of One Piece live action is phenomenal. They are by far carrying the show, and it doesn't really need to be carried to that point. They are literally pulling into work. There's not one character in the entirety of the Netflix live action that is dead weight, that nobody likes. They all seem to be extremely well picked replicas of the anime versions of themselves, and their acting is in line with the anime. It's not over the top like, say, Cowboy Bebop. It is right alongside what the anime is, and even maybe toned down a little bit for realism, but it still is the exact same thing. And I mean, just the casting of Nami is, you know, fire. And the casting is really the one thing that is so paramount to the success of this anime, because of the fact that the One Piece world is not taking place in our world. Even though it's a Japanese anime, it's a Japanese manga, it is not taking place in our world, and Oda has gone out of his way to give each person in One Piece their own nationality, like exactly where they're from our world. So with that in mind, he and everybody in that production was able to pick out who they wanted to play in this live action relatively easily. This is probably the biggest hurdle that anime to live action goes through, is who you're going to cast. The nationality, the ethnicity of these characters is really, really important, and that's probably the biggest question for Dragon Ball. But I have news for you. Even though Akira Toriyama has not stated which characters are the equivalent to this world, it is obviously clear that even though there are huge Japanese influences and even Chinese influences in the anime and the manga, this world that Dragon Ball inhabits is not our world. This is not our Earth. This is an Earth with the president being a furry and dinosaurs running around. This is a completely new existence. So really, realistically, anybody can be cast as some of these characters. Now, the way that I would do it is I would take a page from Dragon Ball Z Light of Hope, which is a fan-made project on YouTube. I'm gonna leave a link to it. You guys can go ahead and check it out for yourselves. It is really, really well done, and the casting in that is just phenomenal, because there are two Caucasian actors who were cast for Android 17 and 18, Caucasian lead for Bulma, and then you have Gohan, who is a Saiyan, being of Asian descent, and Trunks, who is a Saiyan, being biracial, because that's just how that world was cast, that's just how that world was made. It's just realistic in that sense. Dragon Ball live action can absolutely work, and now I have faith in Netflix, who lost all my faith with Death Note live action, but has come back with it with One Piece, that I know they can do really well with it. But you need somebody at the helm to be able to push those decisions like Oda. I don't know if Akira Toriyama wants to be that person, but because Dragon Ball Evolution was such a disaster in his eyes, sorry live action Goku, he actually invented Dragon Ball Super in response to it. It could be a possibility for him to come in for a new live action just to retell the story on his terms, or at least use a proxy that is in love with Dragon Ball just like him, that knows Dragon Ball in and out and is in love with the world just like him. But I'm telling you right now, you've been lied to this entire time. The entire time that you've been alive right now, you've been lied to about Dragon Ball live action, because Dragon Ball Evolution is a spin-off Elsewhere world. It's just something completely different. That's not Dragon Ball live action. They have yet to make real, true, 100% Dragon Ball live action. That's just my take. Let me know if you made it to this point in the video. If you did, drop a hashtag and a video squad. Take it easy, guys.